Hello friends, and welcome to one last video for the year. New Year's is fast upon us, which means the time of year when we tend to look back at the year past, usually with the rose-tinted glasses of nostalgia, and we look to the year ahead with optimistic plans. I haven't done a year in review in a while, and we've certainly added a bunch of new friends to this community over the last 365 days, so I thought it'd be fun to take a look back at all the projects I made this year, give some behind-the-scenes tidbits you might not have seen, as well as opinions if I have them. Now I'm going to cheat a tiny bit and also include the last 3 videos from 2024 because they are awesome and played a large role in the recent growth of this channel, and also because I am just so dang proud of how they turned out, I will take any opportunity to show them off. So first up is my Murdoch Mysteries crazy quilt. Wow. I had no idea that this video would be so well received. As of recording this, it officially has 101,552 views, and that just blows my mind. I had a feeling it would do pretty well, you know, quilting, Victorian, Murdoch Mysteries, but I figured it would maybe do 5, maybe 10,000 views before leveling off. The day after I uploaded is when it really started taking off, and I remember sitting at my desk at my day job, refreshing YouTube Studio on my phone in between work emails, just being gobsmacked. I kept texting my mom updates and freaking out a little on the inside because I had never had a video do this well before. This was my first glimpse of what going viral feels like. I love every bit of how this project turned out. There are so many details that are just so cool. Having a project I could work on a little bit at a time was exactly what I needed that summer. The embroidery was so much fun to play around with. I've gotten so much delightful feedback from viewers, folks on Instagram, the official Murdoch Mysteries Instagram account shared it. It's just been an absolute delight, and I think it's one of my favorite videos that I've done. Then for a theoretically lower key video, I made a winter cloak. This was a frustrating project. I made so many changes to it before finally being happy, and I procrastinated hard with this project. But it turned out pretty cute. I am going to replace the hook closure on it though, as once I started wearing it out and about, I found that the way that particular hook sits, if I raise my arms at all, it comes unhooked and is kind of a pain. But overall, it does exactly what I wanted it to, so I call it a win. Then we have Bilbo's patchwork housecoat. Oh my goodness, I love this housecoat. I will not shut up about this housecoat. It is a wearable quilt. It is so swooshy and cozy, and being able to point out where all the different fabrics are from is so much fun. This video also did incredibly well. It's getting close to 50,000 views now, and was the video that pushed me over the 5,000 subscriber mark an hour and a half before New Year's. I do have a couple little itty-bitty tweaks that I want to make. If I can make the stitches hidden enough, I want to top stitch the collar pieces along the piping line, as right now it tends to roll over a little bit, and I kind of want the piping to lie flatter. I also want to add a couple of belt loops out of leftover velvet. I don't know why I didn't include belt loops initially, but the more I wear this housecoat, the more I want belt loops for the velvet tie. This was an incredible project. I adore how it turned out, and I never want to make something like this ever again. It took easily over 200 hours to make, most of that being cutting, piecing, and pressing the patchwork. I do not have the attention span for traditional quilting. I have come to that realization. By the end of assembling the squares, I was just so done. I just wanted the project to be over. But luckily, once I got to the turn squares into pattern shape stage, I felt much more encouraged and inspired. Also, because I tend to hyper-focus on creative tasks, I ended up locking up my neck and shoulders in very uncomfy positions. So while I saved money on fabrics, I ended up spending a fair bit on chiropractor and massage therapy bills. So remember to take breaks when you're sewing, my friends. But all that aside, I genuinely cannot put into words how much I love this project. It ended up being the perfect way to both end 2024 and ring in 2025 at the same time. I wear it so often in the winter. Case in point. The nice thing is, it is schmancy enough that I would have no problem wearing it to go sit on the front porch with a cup of tea and do some people watching. And it's cozy enough that I can curl up on the couch by the fire with a good book and my toes stay toasty too. Now we officially enter 2025. I started off with a simple project of a couple little pouches for Renfairs, partly because I was still getting over finishing the housecoat and a nasty chest cold, partly because my sewing room was under renovation and I needed something small that I could sew in another room. These turned out so cute. I've already used them this past year at a couple of Renfairs and they've been super handy. And now I really want to make some more in all the colors. They would be a great gift for a Renfair attending friend or someone who wants something handy but more stylish than just a fanny pack. Then I hand sewed a winter hood using the leftover fabric from my winter cloak. And I love this hood. It's warmer and cozier than I expected. I love that I can roll the edge back a little bit, but I can also hide deep inside the hood. And those buttons, aren't they so cute? I got those from a local thrift store and they were just perfect. I also polled you guys on which fabric I should use for the lining, a smooth wool or a shiny cotton. I totally thought y'all would go for the shiny fabric, but truth be told, y'all were right in suggesting the soft wool lining. It's perfect, and I never should have doubted you. This is another project where I want more in all the colors, and probably will make more just off camera. To kick off spring, I made a Silky-inspired dress. I found this curtain swag at a Value Village back in December of 2024, and as soon as I saw it, I knew it had to become a Selkie dress. This was definitely an exercise in both trusting my gut and taking a leap of faith. I almost didn't add the ruffles at the bottom, as I thought it would have been too much. But as soon as I tried on the skirt, I went, oh, it's too plain, it needs the ruffles. And I'm so glad I did. As soon as I tried it on with the ruffles, I knew I'd made the right choice. I think I'm gonna make a change to the sleeves though. Still haven't decided if I'm going to or not. When I tried the sleeves on in my mock-up, they fit great, but on the dress with the final fabric, for some reason they tend to ride up a bit and dig in under the arm. So I think I might take out the elastic and just leave them as a ruffle butterfly style sleeve instead. I know it's supposed to be Selkie inspired and Selkies have puffy sleeves, but this is also my dress and I can do what I want. This was also my very first sponsored video. Skillshare reached out to me while I was making the dress and we worked out the details and the rest is history. They were great to work with. I was very happy with their communication and the money. And that sponsorship is what made it possible for me to afford my first serger. And I want to thank the viewers who were like, wait, is that your first sponsorship? Hey, you go girl, woohoo! Some creators, when they do their first sponsorship, get comments like, so you're just in it for the money too, huh? Selling out already, eh? And I was a little bit nervous on launch day, but you guys have been nothing but supportive and I really appreciate that. Taking a little break from sewing, we then went on a fabric shopping adventure and toured the Toronto Garment District. This was a very fun day, although I didn't buy as much as I thought I would. You know, for a tour/haul video, it felt a little light on the here's what I bought. At least that's how I felt. I don't know how you guys felt about it. I went back in July and ended up coming home with way more fabric. And one side of me was like, why couldn't I have found all this when filming the tour? But part of the good deals I got was because going back in July, I found out that my favorite store owner was retiring and so the store would be closing at the end of the year. So I wouldn't have gotten as good a deal as I did and ergo wouldn't have bought as much fabric as I did had I only gone in the spring. But anyway, it was a lot of fun getting to show off the stores in Toronto. It is a hidden gem in the middle of the city, and I know a lot of you enjoy living vicariously through other people buying the shiny fabrics, so I was more than happy to oblige. Then I made an Edwardian petticoat to go under all my walking skirts, especially the lingerie dress I had planned for a few videos later. Math is not my strong suit, and there is a surprising amount of math when it comes to projects like this, and mainly because of the pin tucks. There is a lot of, okay, I want it to be X long in total, and the lace sections are Y width, so the bottom hem should be Z depth, so the pin tucks are A width, but I want the tucks themselves to be B width, so the untucked fabric needs to be C width. Oy, I'm getting a headache just thinking about it. But once I got over the mathing part, it turned out so pretty, and it was really fun to break out the antique sewing machine again. I don't think I had used it for a video since my Victorian corset in 2023, which feels impossible, but considering the move and all the other projects, I guess that makes sense. Next video, we traveled back over the course of 2024 and early 2025 to see how I put together my Hobbit Core meets Dark Academia sewing room. This was a wild ride of renovations, a mix of my own DIY and getting some professional assistance, and I love how much you all love how it turned out. It was also really fun filming the tour and just letting my brain ramble on as I went through the room. That tour was totally unscripted. The uncut version of that video was something crazy like over an hour long, and there were two sections in particular that at the time I felt it was very important that I talk about those things in great detail. But when I was editing, I went, this doesn't actually impact the video that much and actually disrupts the flow of the video. So I saved you all from an extended ramble about my Conqueror medals and the Elphaba fabrics that are hiding under my sewing table. But yeah, I have a proper sewing room now, and it's such a cozy little space. It definitely gets messy when I'm working on projects, so what you see in that video is probably the tidiest it will ever be, but such is the life of a crafty person. Then I popped out a little video on trinket trading for all my Renfair folk. This was a quick and easy video, and I like how it turned out, although I was definitely fighting some anxiety about it the whole way along. Don't ask me why, that's one of the joys about generalized anxiety. It performed okay, although with it coming out right in the middle of Renfair season, I honestly thought it would get more views than it did. But such is the life of a content creator at the whim of the algorithm. But then we came out strong with the Edwardian lingerie dress. This was a project where gathering the materials took way longer than the actual construction time. I started gathering lace just after the last of Bernadette Banner's Mary Poppins videos came out, and I wasn't satisfied that I had enough until this past spring. And I actually bought some lace that didn't end up making it into the project. It looked good at the time, but when you start pairing up laces and seeing them side by side, sometimes one stands out as really not fitting with the rest. So while some of the laces I used up almost entirely, I still have a lot of lace left over. I know I'm going to make a corset cover at some point soon and an Edwardian tea gown at some point in the future, but if anyone has suggestions on other lace trimmed projects, I would love to hear what you recommend. And then we moved from the history side of the channel to the geekery with my Jedi costume. I said it in that video, and I will say it again, my inner child is so happy with this. When I did my first try on with all the pieces all together, I turned around to look in the mirror and literally started laughing with delight, and then proceeded to run around the house happy dancing and showing my family. There are a couple of tweaks I'm going to make before I wear it again, namely involving the tabards and the obi. And most of those tweaks revolve around my own hubris winning out over listening to other people with experience. Fresh Frippery mentioned in her blog that she sewed the tabards to the obi. I thought keeping the tabards and obi separate would be better in my case, but I found that despite the ribbon being grosgrain, it kept wanting to slide up as I moved around. So I think I will go back and sew the tabards to the obi after all. I also found the obi wanted to scrunch up as I moved around, mostly because I had just made it out of the thin outer fabric. I think I'm going to take it apart and either add some tailor's canvas inside or back it with some leftover lining fabric, or both. The structure will really help the silhouette, and I don't think it'll add the bulk that I originally thought it would. This was such a fun reveal as well. My brother was a great sport coming along to play Sith Lord. I mean, what guy wouldn't say yes to, will you come and have a lightsaber battle with me? It was also really interesting getting to direct someone else for a change. It's usually just me and my mum doing these reveals and I'm directing myself, but I think he did pretty good. And the location turned out really good too. That spot was not actually my first choice. It was actually a last-minute change of venue after being told I couldn't film at my initial location pick. And it turned out even better than my original vision. Very Naboo vibes. I can't believe that I didn't think of that spot first. I was pretty focused on the shoot, but I know there were a lot of people on the paths behind us with their phones out, so hopefully they were all going, "Look, there's Jedis in the park, that's so cool!" And not, "Look at those weirdos." I haven't seen any footage pop up on our local weird shit you see in the region Facebook group, so I'll take that as we looked pretty cool. It was absolutely the most influencer in the wild that I've ever felt, but it turned out really fun. And again, I love this costume. It is a total win, and I will be wearing this to as many events as I can. And then we danced through life into a Fiero dress. When I say the decision to make this plain green wrap dress into a gold-trimmed sparkly dress that feels like it stepped off a Broadway stage was made in a split second, I am not joking. I saw the trailer and boom, inspiration was born. I was low-key really hoping to have it finished in time to do part of the reveal in one of the many cornfields around town, but the rhinestones took longer than planned, and November was... it was a month. There was some family health stuff and personal health stuff. Everyone's good now, but that took priority, and by the time the dress was done, the harvest were in. That said, I love how this reveal turned out. The location felt absolutely Aussian, and it was so much fun getting to wear it to the theater for the early access showing and the double feature. My favorite costume moment from that week was during the double feature intermission. I was washing my hands and heard the classic fangirl scream from behind me, turned around, and there was a girl cosplaying as Elphaba who was just like, yes! I love this dress, and I just wish I had more places to wear it. It is definitely not a casual, I'll just wear it to church kind of dress. So I need to find some more opportunities to break it out of the wardrobe. Maybe I'll do a cornfield photo shoot next year just for funsies. And for the final project of the year, my New York Victorian waistcoat. This was by far the most down-to-the-wire project of the year, possibly the whole channel. The way my schedule worked out, I decided to take a page from Hollywood and shoot things out of order, so at the time of filming this year in review video, the reveal you are currently watching has not actually been filmed yet. I hope it turned out cool. In fact, when I'm done recording this video, I actually need to go sew on the last few buttons because it's not 100% complete yet. Today is the 19th. Lydia, in this moment, is hoping to have the waistcoat video up by the 22nd. Kind of an overly ambitious goal, but we will see how that goes. I know I mentioned it in the video, but I was so terrified to cut into this fabric. It was heckin' expensive, but amazing. I will forever gush about this wool. I still have a wee little bit of it left, and I think enough to make something small and wearable, maybe. Just not sure what yet. Overall, I am super happy with how this turned out. I can wear it both with and without a corset, which is a huge plus. I can definitely tell where my skills have improved since my very first waistcoat, and the only spot I can nitpick on is the buttonholes. I still struggle with getting my buttonholes looking picture perfect, and this particular fabric, when cut, tends to fluff a little bit, so getting a solid line of buttonhole stitches without tiny bits of floof poking out was next to impossible. Thankfully, the buttonholes are pretty much entirely hidden by the buttons. Again, I wish I hadn't waited so long to make this, because it wasn't quite as scary as I thought it would be, but I keep remembering that everything happens in a season for a purpose, and I was meant to have this waistcoat at this time and no sooner. I will, however, be wearing it out and about every chance I get. And since I'm showing off projects from this year, now I'm going to show you a couple of things that didn't make it onto camera. First up, a snack. This is actually called a draft stop, and I made it a few months ago because my bedroom window and door are perfectly aligned so that when the window is open and the door is closed, you get a rather noisy, whiny, wailing sound that is not fun when you're trying to sleep. I had thought about buying a draft stop, but most of them wouldn't work out with the rug that's in my room, so I looked up a tutorial online and whipped this up in less than 2 hours. It is made from some fun quilting cotton in my stash, a little bit of ribbon from my stash, and a whole bunch of fabric cabbage cut down into fabric coleslaw. And it works really well. I noticed the difference immediately. I didn't make a video about it because it was such a quick project and doesn't really fit geekery or history, so I posted the progress pictures on my Instagram stories instead. And I got the sweetest voice message from one of my followers on there saying that I had solved a problem that she had had for years and literally changed her life, and she was off to make one that very afternoon. So yeah, I like my handy little snack. I also crocheted this lovely infinity scarf slash cowl. I picked this yarn up on a whim. The sparkly blue thread running alongside the yarn caught my eye, so I am dubbing this my Elsa cowl. In terms of works in progress, aka I started and time got away from me, I was hoping to have this really cool hooded cowl done in time for mid-fall, but I have frogged and redone this section here multiple times. I am so close. I just need to adjust the top angle of the hood and add a bit of finishing around the edge, so hopefully done by the end of the year. And my other work in progress is technically my final wearable mock-up for my waistcoat. I had made a couple of mock-ups from muslin, but to ease my anxiety, I made a version with wool and canvas and pad stitching and the whole 9 yards. And I'm making this with leftover wool from my first Victorian walking skirt. I knew I had enough fabric left over, and I've wanted to have a matching skirt waistcoat combo ever since I made the walking skirt, and so this is going to turn out awesome. I got as far as prepping the front and back pieces and then did a cursory basting to make sure it was a good fit. And as soon as I knew that it would work with the expensive wool, I put this aside to work on the priority project. Now I can get back to this in all my spare time, and I will soon have 2 lovely double-breasted waistcoats. Okay, so now let's pivot and talk about the channel and YouTube itself, because I love numbers and also I have thoughts. When you look at the numbers, the first half of 2025 is quite different from the second half of 2025, and we'll get into that in a minute. We've had quite a bit of growth going on this year. I am recording this, as I said, on December 19th, and in the last 365 days, we've gone from roughly 3,500 subscribers to 8,968 subscribers, which means this channel is nearly 3 times larger than it was this time last year. And that is mind-boggling to me. I mean, I know there are channels that go viral and have way faster growth than that, but to me, that's wild. And I really hope that that kind of growth continues in 2026. But that will be in large part on YouTube itself to determine. And I say that because I have a bone to pick with the algorithm. So I don't know if y'all have noticed the change in the view counts on my videos, but in the summer, YouTube did something with its algorithm, which affected and continues to affect hundreds, if not thousands of creators, resulting in many people, myself included, seeing a marked drop-off in views on their videos. So videos that I thought would do really, really well, like the lingerie dress, my Jedi costume, and my Fiero dress, got maybe half the views of what they statistically would have gotten if they had been out before July and August of this year. Now, no one knows exactly what YouTube changed, and it may not be one singular change. There is a lot of, to quote Galinda, rumor and speculation, innuendo, outuendo, about what it might be. Some say it has to do with ad blockers, some say it has to do with YouTube now basically running everything with AI instead of real people. Some say it has to do with the increase of thumbnail size, so now you see less videos recommended overall. And it could be a combination of, or none of those things. But I know as a viewer, I am seeing a change in my homepage algorithm. I am seeing less of the channels I usually watch, more videos unrelated to my interests, and more repetition of the same videos as I scroll on my homepage. And I know I've had multiple subscribers tell me that they have notifications turned on for my channel, and they did not get notified when a new video came out. So something funky is going on behind the scenes. Is that discouraging? Yes. I'm not going to pretend it's not. I work hard on my videos. I'd like to think that my video quality grows with every upload, and I have fun making these cool projects. So seeing these current videos getting view counts that were average when my channel was 4 times smaller than what it is now, seeing my ad revenue way lower than it was a year ago, I will be honest, there are days when it feels discouraging. Will I stop making videos because of that? Absolutely not. I love sewing. I love creating. I love the community that we're building here. So unless something really drastic happens, I'm not going anywhere. On a higher, happier behind-the-scenes note, for those who are familiar with some of the tools and resources available to creators, you will probably have heard of vidIQ. For those who haven't, they are an online resource to help creators grow their channels. They look at YouTube updates and trends and provide details on how best to improve as a creator as the algorithm changes. And one thing they do is weekly live stream channel audits. Any creator can submit their channel for review, and they will take a look and offer some suggestions on ways to improve and grow. And this summer, after months of sending in my channel every week, I finally got featured. I was so excited, and the advice they offered was really encouraging. I'll link the full live stream in the description if anyone wants to go check it out, but in a nutshell, I'm doing pretty much everything right. I've got a really good on-camera presence. I might want to look at investing in a teleprompter at some point down the road because, spoiler alert, I currently read all my scripts off of a laptop sitting right behind my camera. And most importantly, everyone on the internet goes bonkers for cloaks. Seriously, that was one of my favorite moments when they took a quick look at my winter cloak video and the whole chat started going like, "Cloaks for all! We need more cloaks! Cloak merch!" So that was a lovely little confidence boost. You know, your friends and family can tell you you're doing well until the cows come home, but there's something to be said in having someone whose job it is to help creators build their channels tell you you're doing everything right and that it is honestly impressive that you have that many subscribers with less than 100 videos.
8,000 subscribers from less than 100 videos, which seems incredible to me as well.
Yay! So, what does 2026 have in store for the channel? Well, you'll just have to wait for the next video to find out. This year in review is already going to end up being a pretty long video, so I'm doing a part 2, and if all goes well, it'll be out at the end of the week, just after New Year's, where I'm going to walk through my sewing plans and fabric stash and chit-chat about the kind of videos I'm hoping to put out in the coming year. So if you want to see that video, hit the bell icon, which turns on notifications. If you liked this video, please hit the thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing. And I will see you very soon with more Geekery Meets History sewing adventures. So that, oh, 2 more paragraphs, yay. 7 pages of script. I've been here for an hour and a half. And I will see you, Also, for some reason, the bird hates this house coat. I have no idea why, but she has very strong opinions on it. What's your opinion on the house coat, Ruby? You don't like it? Why don't you like it? It's pretty.